I'm going to say hello to the podcast. Welcome to listen to us, because we've already basically recorded a podcast of discussing whether we're going to do this topic, saying no, then discussing it, and Joe going, why on earth did you not have record?
I know. Push the button, Katie. Push the button. Let's just record the kind of stuff that we're talking about at that exact moment in time. So
we're going to talk about breastfeeding and nutrition, which is the big label. We had a comment on Instagram that asked us to talk about this. And so we went into this conversation going, raging. And then we both came in with, however, there is research about this, this, and this. But both of us are acutely aware that our audience is such a mix. And it's never our ideal to make anyone feel more pressure. So, God, where do we start? I think I'm going to actually start because I've still got this image in my head, which is of being a brand new midwife. So let's say 2001-ish, those first 5 years. And whether I was taught it or the image is still there, that there's posters up around with women being advised to breastfeed, and then looking at the bloody food pyramid of... I think it was on a handout, actually, looking at how much protein you should eat and carbs, blah, blah, blah. But in particular was that there's a whole fish on it, like not fillets, but whole fish. So with the eyes, not gutted. And it was just this like, yep, I'm in postpartum. Everyone's returned to work. I'm definitely making time to get a whole fish. Cook it.
I'm just gonna eat it,
and then I'm gonna siphon through the bones. So it's just these kind of the pressures and expectations like that has kind of disappeared. I bloody hope it has. If you are literally in an NHS hospital and you see any leaflet with breastfeeding in that pyramid, it is over 25 years old. Throw it away.
I think the thing that makes me laugh so much is that when we were talking before about whether or not we were going to talk about this topic, we both very, very strongly came to the conclusion, no, we're not going to talk about this topic, because we both have got very strong ideas about it. They are probably, as with some of our stuff, they're going to push some buttons. There are, I suppose we should say, there's like boundaries, believe it or not, to our knowledge about this stuff, and that we can't claim to be experts in nutrition. We are not maternal nutritionists. We are lactation consultants. So for sure, I mean, the goal here is that we want to share with you what we know, what our opinions are, what we think the ramifications of such knowledge could be. And you know what? Surprise, we're going to talk about the nuance, Katie. Can you believe it?
What a shocker.
I know.
So while I'm festering in whole fish, where is your brain going right now?
Away from whole fish. And I would say, the thing is that very frequently towards the end of a consultation, I have someone ask me, I would say it's one of these, just while we're packing up and finishing, just one quick last question. What are the things that I should eat? Because I've been avoiding cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and onion and beans and anything with fizzy and all dairy and all eggs and gluten, and gives me this massive list. Oh, and of course, yes, spicy food, alcohol, caffeine, right?
It's heart-wrenching for me. I'm like, I've just eaten the cabbage, the spice.
Wow. And so how about you give me the list of 4 things that you can eat then? Apparently, yeah. And I very much subscribe to the rule that your list of things that you should be able to should be able to eat when you are breastfeeding, really are anything that somebody else makes for you, that somebody else brings to you, and that you're able to eat with one hand. These are my rules. And really, beyond that, Unless, of course, there is like a medical condition that is diagnosed and involved that you've got specialist support for, you should be able to eat everything. So, of course, this is where, when we were talking about it before, I see that there are, there's more to it than that. But really, for the vast majority of people, that is the take home message that I want.
That's it. Right. End of podcast. Thank you. Do not send anything in the comments or any DMs about, oh, what about this? Obviously, we're
Right.
talking about the majority in terms of a take home message, a message that is digestible. Excuse the puns. So clever. As in, like, if I was sitting there in your clinic and you said that to me, that would be the penny drop moment of going, oh shit, like, of course, as long as I'm eating. And the thing is, people, if they're cooking for you or helping you, or something's been left for you, or something has been bought in the supermarket and it's in a package, and Mr. Whoever, sorry, Mrs. whatever the supermarket name is, has made this for you, made by their special robots, it's nourishing. It's filling you up, and you are often bloody hungry, very tired, and this is a short period of time in your life. And so it's having that moment. And yes, wouldn't we love to, and don't we subscribe for ourselves and for everyone that we see, that the more nutrients, the more healthy fats, the more eggs, the more bone broth we can put in our diets, wonderful. But getting our knickers in a twist, worrying about it, and then not eating the biscuit that's actually right in front of you because nothing else is, because maybe you've got a toddler crawling around and you've got a baby in the other arm, and actually you found an old packet of biscuits in the bottom of the bag, and you're just there for another hour, so you're going to eat it, and that's going to give you some sustenance. Is it healthy? In one way, it's very healthy because you filled your tummy. It makes you feel better. That's health. So it's having that picture of what is health, mental health, physical health.
And I think as well that there's not enough emphasis on the fact that the ability to make milk is not so much affected by how much cauliflower you have, but has, it's more about how many calories you consume. So if you are someone who is trying to eat incredibly healthily, postpartum, but you're only having, say, 1,200 calories a day, but you're producing 800 mils of milk, like, you're not going to be able to sustain that. So very much, I'm just, I hear so often from the mums I'm working with that the thing that they crave is a piece of cake with butter on it. I'm like, well, have that piece of cake, put butter on it, enjoy it. You know what? Get an oxytocin hit while you're at it. Amazing, right?
Exactly. Oh my God, double whammy.
Right.
You're so right. I think that's also what we forget, is we can get in this mindset that nutrition is so important for healing, for health, for blah, 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 blah. But you are feeding a whole other human and making almost a liter of milk a day. Some women are making past that. Whatever, it requires a lot more calories, which is why you will sit there breastfeeding and not only be thirsty, but be thinking, God, I only ate an hour ago. I could murder another sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Have it. Eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, also we've got to look at who's in front of us. If we're working in a general, standard hospital setting, I've worked with a variety of women for the last forever. If I've got maybe, a woman who's in front of me with her first baby, who comes from a background where she's never really eaten healthily, salad was what was extra on the burger from the takeaway place. Her diet consists of crisps and chips and burgers and fast food almost every day. Do I say to her, your diet is not healthy enough for you to breastfeed? Do I put her and her baby at financial risk and all other things because we threatened that her milk wouldn't be good enough?
Mm-hmm.
Her milk will be the best it can be for her baby, and her body will actually drain her from nutrients, unfortunately, to provide for that baby.
Exactly.
And the problem is that the mums will often end up feeling really quite drained and pretty ugh. But we're never going to say, oh, she can't breastfeed because she just eats a diet full of crisps and biscuits. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, it's
Mm-hmm.
still going to be marvelous for more than just the food part of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking as well about, the goal for me always is for people to think that, of course, we have an ideal, right? And like you mentioned, the bone broth and such, right? We have this ideal situation. But really, it is more so about, I think, as with, when we talked about our triple feeding podcast, right? It's like, okay, yes, but there are so many other elements to your life at that point in time.
Mm.
And how can we find a way to get some balance? So if you've got someone who's delivering you bone broth every day, amazing. But if there was ever a time to feel like it is a completely acceptable thing to go and buy pre-packaged, like, pre-boiled eggs that are already in the carton, for example, and they're a little bit more expensive, and in Switzerland here they're all multicolored and real pretty, and like, great, just take the easy option. Ideally we're going for nutrient dense, calorie rich food. And actually, if we have a look at, when you Google online for like what are the list of foods that are the best for breastfeeding, every culture has got a different list of food, and the things that they have in common are that they are calorie rich, nutrient dense, and they tend to be things that kind of like remind people of a cozy period in time. So, I've got people that are from Eastern Europe where it's all these like meat and potato stews that their mum used to make them, and in the UK it's like we want oats with honey and butter and brown sugar and this kind of business, and you see that around the place, that if it's this feeling of like reminders of being nurtured plus nutrient dense food plus calorie rich, then we've got tick tick tick.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Plus, my mouth is absolutely watering right now
I would
because
love
I.
some porridge with brown sugar and
Oh
butter.
no, I'm going for the stew and the potatoes. Actually, I want mashed potato with lashings of butter. But that's also sparked my mind because I'm thinking about the dals and the
Hmm.
spicy food.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I don't want to segue too quickly because I just want to say 100%. Absolutely. Also, sometimes those things are really easy to come by in terms of if you're thinking about having a handful of nuts,
Hmm.
having the boiled eggs. Yeah, I think just it's about thinking it through what's easily available,
Yeah.
what's on tap,
Yeah.
and what tastes nice and make you feel better as
Yeah.
well.
And look, I think there are new studies that are out about things like the particular kinds of fats that we are consuming that are traveling into milk and potentially adjusting things for our babies. There's a lot of new information that both of us have not dived into enough to be able to say that we are full experts in that area. But like you mentioned before, Katie, there is never a scenario where I'm going to say to someone that their diet is suboptimal enough that we shouldn't be providing that baby with their breast milk. That's never the situation. So for me, this is one of these things where all of that information is handy to have and interesting, and potentially can optimize situations a little bit for people that have got the ability to do so. But
Mm.
it shouldn't be something that is prescriptive or potentially goes, causes harm in some way.
And I think in terms of when you say harm as well, it's that guilt as
For
harm.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think, the majority of women breastfeeding are having a balance, and that's life. you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And once you start getting things together, you can start going and making all these wonderful things again. But right now, my goodness me.
I want to know more about your concept of dal and spicy food.
Um, well,
Sorry, was I not meant to ask you about that?
no, not at all. I mean, I think it just was that whole thing of, almost every client we see will be like, oh, I stopped eating spicy food. And that will not be the women who have heritage from countries where spicy food is their diet.
For sure.
They will often reduce the spice level, but they won't eliminate it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bit like in pregnancy. And I think that's a really good point for us to mention is, everything we're eating in pregnancy is helping your baby develop these tastes for what the breast milk is going to taste like. The breast milk changes flavor fantastically well. And that then apparently helps our babies wean on to the types of food that they have been and will be surrounded by, because we tend to eat this diet within this family. But cultures, families where they have a heavy spice or rich, and not spice isn't just chili, but I think that's what most of us think about, often will continue their warming foods. And that is very nourishing as well. I think I just wanted to say, like, don't take it out. Like, see how you go. If you're someone who's always eating heavily spiced food, Thai food, Indian food, like I am, my baby would have been having that for 9 months throughout my pregnancy. They would be getting heavily flavored food through my milk.
Mm-hmm. Now, hey, I've got a question for you, because very often that kind of food goes hand in hand with having a decent amount of garlic and onion and potentially legumes as well. So, my question for you is that I hear a lot of people are told to remove these because they can cause gas. And I want to hear, I mean, I have my own way. So
Why do you always get to ask me the questions?
you ask me tricky questions.
I never ask you questions.
You do.
Do I ask you tricky questions?
You do. You made me explain storage capacity last time, all sorts of stuff, all the time.
Oh, that is an easy one for you, my friend.
Well, here you go. Here's an easy one. Does gas travel from your stomach into your baby's stomach, Katie?
No.
Wait, where's your pencil? No.
No. Oh, yeah, I don't have my pen last time. My God, I was really going for it with the pen. I think I keep away from them. Then I don't get all the big hand movements. I would say no.
Tell me.
No, look,
Tell me about that.
I'm not going
Would you like me to tell you
yes,
about that?
No, I think we need to be really cautious about assuming that because we've eaten brassicas, that we're then going to cause our babies to have an effect in their bowel and cause them to be upset. I think it's one of those things where we can take a broader view as well of going, oh my God, I ate chocolate. That's a random one for me, but I've heard that so many times. Can't eat chocolate, can't eat cabbage, can't eat chili. And then your baby has a, in quotes, bad night. May well be a bad night, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the food you've eaten. It's very unlikely that it is. However, we may have heard from all and sundry, don't eat broccoli, don't eat cabbage, and then you eat it, and of course, you blame yourself. You then take it out of your diet and never eat it again until you stop breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's unlikely to have caused any problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've been working with women who are told to not have like sparkling water, for example.
What?
Uh-huh.
No, I have never heard fizzy drink.
Really? The fizzy drink thing is big. The fizzy drink thing is big, Katie.
What?
And
okay,
I'm like,
I
okay,
know I'm going to have a client. I'm going to have a client next week because this happened the other day where I went, I've not had that. I can't remember what it was. It was on our podcast. I know I'm going to have a client that will come in and next week they're going to tell me about the whole fizzy drink
the fizzy
thing.
drink, exactly.
That's so weird. I can't remember anyone saying that to me.
I don't know. All I can tell you is what I hear. But it's...
So, how do we even come to those conclusions that you're going to make bubbles in your stomach
I
that are
know.
going to travel up to
Through
your
your
breast,
bloodstream, through your bloodstream.
through your bloodstream. I
Yeah,
really hope there's no air bubbles in the
I know,
bloodstream,
right? I
because I
know.
think that something far more drastic might happen and quicker than
Right,
it going through into make, and then
right.
through the
Through that
bloodstream.
membrane.
Then it goes through a membrane. Then it makes milk. Then it stores the milk. Then it actually pushes the milk down at the right time with oxytocin
Fizzy
through a
milk.
thin
Okay,
tube.
fizzy milk. Yeah.
And then you cause fizzy milk that's actually going to stay fizzy, because we know how long it takes for a fizzy drink to go flat. It's going to go down their throat into their stomach and still be fizzing. And then
Yeah.
1 hour might go past, and then this baby's going to be unsettled.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I hear.
And the problem is we're so sleep deprived that we just are being bombarded with
Yeah.
information that it's not that anyone's stupid to think that. It's
No.
literally that your brain is like a sponge,
And you know
and
what? I'm
you're
just
just
going to add
like,
it onto my list of things. Okay. It's not that hard to avoid it, so I won't, you know?
oh no, bless.
So I think the important thing to recognize is that the nutrients for your baby's health and well-being are being prioritized by our bodies. So whatever it is that we are eating, if it is not A1 perfection, then our bodies are going to be taking things out of our own bones, for example, and making sure that our babies are getting everything that they need. So I tend to say that it would be a good idea, if you don't have like your personal chef at home and your bone broth every day, it would be a good idea to potentially keep taking your prenatal multivitamin so that you've got that kind of stuff covered. And then in the background, you do the best you can with what you've got, making sure that we keep in mind like the all of the different pillars of health. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about, health as far as, are you able to fit stuff in? What is your mental load like? All of this kind of business, right? Not just what is the protein content of the thing in front of you.
Yep. And have I made 3 meals today, plus some energy bliss balls with cacao nibs and spirulina.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel more anxiety because I'm not keeping up to the nutritional things that I think I should or I've read about. And actually just go, today was a day where I really enjoyed what I ate.
Mm-hmm.
Probably all of it was packaged. Doesn't
Right.
matter. Tomorrow there's some soup coming from my mother-in-law. Great.
Right. Right.
Can we then, I don't know if I'm segueing too quick, but I just want to bring in, because there's a huge amount of diet culture. And I think we touched on it, but I think it was really important about this calorie load, because we are, a lot of us in the Western world, particularly, diet culture is overtaking us at the moment. I think even more so at a rapid pace than it has been in the last few decades. There is so much pressure to gain back whatever your body was. And what is happening when we are dieting? What is the risk of what will occur to the milk, to the mother, when we are dieting too severely, when we are not fueling our bodies?
Well, I mean, we know that you need to be consuming enough calories to be able to produce the calories necessary for your baby to grow. And look, I mean, I have people that have got pretty severe postpartum anxiety and also postpartum OCD that does manifest in control of food intake. And obviously, that's got a whole bunch of other things that tend to be associated with that as well. But I think that I see that food intake in this kind of risky postpartum era, I see that this is an easier thing for people to feel like they've got control over, and it can start to spiral reasonably quickly. So this is why I tend to be quite careful with the information that I'm giving to people on a one-on-one basis. And I tend to go for, like, let's just keep it the easier option, where we can have some flexibility and where you can have this like nuance of what is the best versus what is optimal versus what is good versus what is okay. And is there really anything that is bad? Not really.
Thank you, Jo. I think that's what I really wanted to extrapolate from this. And I think you as well, in terms of when we go into talking about this topic, it's hard. It's really hard for us because what we're doing as clinicians is we are with someone one-on-one and we take on board their entire micro and macrocosm that's around them, not necessarily what books and textbooks and research is saying, but what is the best for them at this point in their life, which might be a very temporary time point, and what is the best for their mental health, their psychological well-being, their outlook on life, the way they bond and connect with their baby, the way that is actually going to support them to keep breastfeeding. And that's what you just pulled out beautifully. And I think that's our point here, is that yes, we could go into all the science. You can go and read all the books. There are amazing nutritionists that are giving us incredible work to read. And we can go and do that. But as clinicians, we're basically saying, meet that woman where she is. Meet that family where they are. What is their capacity?
Yeah. And ideally, we're going to sit across from them while we ask the right kinds of questions, and they can tell us what they think they're capable of. That's the dream situation in any of these scenarios.
Yep, completely. Lush.
I think we did okay, Katie.
Well, I think I might go and eat a chocolate brownie.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And
really
have a cup of tea, because that makes me super happy.
Well, I'm going to have my cup of coffee and my croissant, and we'll chat again soon.
Brilliant. Make sure you have some healthy fats with that. Get some butter on there.
All right, I will.
Before you dash, a quick invite. Our new pro course, Decoding The Suck, is open. Think practical skills for tricky feeds, taught without the fluff. And if you're a midwife, doula, or anyone who just loves lactation, or maybe you're a mum-to-be or a new parent, Katie has more courses waiting for you. All the deets, find them in the show notes. And whilst you're there, please do all those podcasty things. Follow, 5-star it, and of course share it with a colleague. We'll catch you on the next drop.